So hi everybody and welcome back to Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 139 and in this video we are talking about event dispatchers. But before we talk about event dispatchers, again a fast recap what I did so far. We are talking in general about blueprint communication, and this is a preparation to understand all this communication to each other and how later interface works, and in comparison to this other communication possibilities. And yeah, in our last video I showed you here different ways. One was with get all actors of class, one was with creating a variable and assigning it directly in the level blueprint, yes, in this viewport here, so that designers don't have to open the code section here at all. One way was to use a level blueprint. We opened up here the level blueprint. The level blueprint was specific to this level here, has advantages and disadvantages. Advantages here very clear that when you use the level blueprint you can access something. For example, you can do something like that. Here's the level blueprint. You go to your viewport, you select here on the right side, let's say a bunch of things what you want. Let's say I want all this kind of stuff. I can drag and drop all this one here, and you see I have fast references to them and I can use them instantly. Very nice. And what is bad so about the level blueprint, there are problems with accessibility from other blueprints. For example, if you create here variables and then you want to access it from blueprints of this level blueprint, that cause most time problems and it's not preferred. Or you want to make let's say you want to reuse the blueprint, but because this level blueprint is specific to this level only and can't be used in other places, that's also not so nice. That's why many like blueprints more, because you can just open up another level and then use the blueprint there as well. But you have to distinguish what you need and for your needs, and that's why we make all this overview. And in this video I want to go for event dispatcher. We have already talked, I think, about event dispatchers in this tutorial series, but I have to talk again about it because it's very important. Because this blueprint communication here, one part is that I have to show again event dispatcher and compare it later with interfaces, with casting, with direct communication or whatever, and compare it also with performance and something like that, which becomes more difficult. All right, with that said, let's get started with event dispatcher and how an event dispatcher works. Of course, here is again the event dispatcher website. I will link it into the description below. And yeah, my goal is now to demonstrate an event dispatcher, but I will use the same example like all time. I have here this trigger box. My character will walk in and my goal is to do something, to execute a code. And to make it simple, I want just turn off a lamp. That's it. But this time with an event dispatcher, and then you can see if it's worth it to use it or not. So, but before I start, the general idea of an event dispatcher is you can activate different classes at the same time with one call. That sounds a little bit strange. Perhaps you don't understand this description, but what it means is you create one event dispatcher, then you call to this event, then you call this event dispatcher, which means event dispatcher get activate place, and then all who are connected to this event dispatcher are executing a code which you have predefined. So, and this is the thing what we are going to do, and I demonstrate you this one now. And of course you can make this in different places. Like I said, you can make it here, let's say in this blueprint to blueprint. You can make it in the level blueprint. Some places are easier, some places are a little bit more difficult, but all do the job anyhow. And I demonstrate first a little bit the more difficult one, which is not really difficult one, which is just another place. I have here a blueprint. For example, this trigger box. I want to implement here this event dispatcher, and it should connect, it should react to this blueprint here with this light. And interesting is that how you access, or let's say till now we have all time made a connection from this trigger box here. I open up this fast to show you what I mean. All time we started with this trigger box, and then I created here a connection to this light. That, for example, here I created here a variable, and then I selected the light here, or here I get all actors of class, and then I selected the light here, which I wanted. But this time with Event Dispatcher, it's other way around. What I mean with that other way around is you create an Event Dispatcher in a blueprint, for example, and I created here. But this time I connect not from this place to this place. I connect from the light to this dispatcher. So I'm trying to find this trigger box here, and that's, let's say, that's one thing which is different, but that's all. And the next thing which is different, like I said before, when you call this dispatcher here, because all things which are connected now with this one, for example, I connect this lamp here with this, then I connect this cross here with this, all time from here, and when I call this one here, all who are connected will execute a code which you have defined. And now I have talked much, let's demonstrate this. So let's start. I said here, my goal is my character walks in, it triggers this one here, and when it triggers, I want call this event dispatcher, which is here itself, which I define it here in my box also. All right, so I go into this box, I open up this blueprint. Here I'm in my box. I switch here to the event graph, and this is the old code. And this is the startup, right? What I use. This is my box here. And this one is my character when it works in. And after my character works in, I want to activate the event dispatcher. But right now we have no event dispatcher. First of all, we have create an event dispatcher. How we create an event dispatcher: you go here to the left side, you go down here on the options, and you see here the option, it says event dispatchers, and then you can click here plus, and this is your event dispatcher, and then you name it. Let's name it, for example, ed for event dispatcher underscore, and I call it demonstration event dispatch. Sure. Okay, demonstration event dispatcher, something like so. I've forgotten tape, whatever, not so important. Oh no, I don't forget it. I'm just blind. All right, also good. So I created here now this event dispatcher, and all time when you create a variable, a function, event dispatcher, or whatever, all time you can see you're on top, you should have to press compile. So this one is indeed created. With that said, I did my first step, which is creating an event dispatcher, and this event dispatcher must be called now. And I said all other actors who has a connection now to this dispatcher will execute their code too. All blueprints, let's say only blueprints can have code, but the other ones too. But anyway, let's say all actors who have code and is connected to my event dispatcher can execute a code. But right now I don't have anything connected, and right now I have not called my dispatcher. So when I call my event dispatcher, let's define this. My goal is my character comes here, you can see it, and I want walk in, and now I want call this event dispatcher, because when he walks in I want call it, and all the connected things what I have connected to this event dispatcher should do something. For example, lamp, you should turn off. Cross, you should disappear. Or whatever, player start, you should disappear as well. You can do something what you want. And to make it not too complicated, I will just test it first with the lamp, and the other things, it's similar. You will see, it's easy to implement as well. So with that said, I know now what I have to do. After this block, when my character works in, I activate this one. And here one thing, let's first, I have created this event dispatcher, right? When I double click on it, you can see here a function, but all is grayed out. You can't change here anything, which means this event dispatcher itself is not the place where you implement any functionality. This is just to be called. That's why alt is grayed out. Your job is just to call this one here. And all who are connected to this event dispatcher, they will implement this functionality here, which you can't implement here. Just so. And that's nice because they can implement all their own different functionalities. We will see this in a moment. So with that said, how I can call this, or how I can call this one here. So you can do something different here. You can select this one here, then drag and drop it here in the scene. And then you have here different options. One option is call. The other option is bind, which means this binding here is exactly what I told you, that other actors here, for example, my lamp, should make a connection to this event dispatcher. And making a connection to this event dispatcher means binding it, right? Or assigning it. There are two things. They are the same, actually. That's a little bit irritating, but they mean the same, actually. We have here bind, unbind. This means you can unbind it. That's not very important for us. Here, event and assign. Interesting is what is event here. And anyway, important is now, let's continue. Important is now here I want call it. And why I want call it here again? Because my character works in. And now I want that all who are connected to this event dispatcher should do something. And here I call it. This is my call place. Of course, you can call it anywhere else. Must be not here. That's very important. And yeah, I call it. But you have not to call it here. This is even very strange that you call it here, because you created your event dispatcher and I call it here, because you can call it in any place which has a connection to this trigger box. Anyway, with that said, I call it here. I make a comment and say event dispatcher is activated, or you can say called activated. And activated means, let's write here perhaps. Yes, we can write here one more thing. Yeah, let's skip this. I hope you know what activate means. Activate means that all are connected actors to this event dispatcher will execute a code. That means it. Perhaps I should write this one really. Yeah, let's write this one, because this one is important to understand. Activate means all connected actor blueprints or whatever. All connected. Let's write actors. Actors will execute a code. Or if you have set it up, of course. If you have no setup in code, it will execute not a code. Yeah, but I want not to make it too complicated now. I will show you this in a moment. So the first step, it's done, which means I have set up a event dispatcher. I can walk in, it will be activated, but right now nothing will happen. And the reason for that is because this gets activated here, but here is nothing who is listening to this one. We have no connections. Like I said, we have created here this event dispatcher, but now we need connecting to it. And this time, like I said, we are not connecting from this way to the other ways, like in the other videos. Now we go first to the place what we want. For example, I want this light or this light, and then I find a connection to this place where this event dispatcher is defined. In my case, it is defined here in this BP trigger activate all. So I have to find from away from this light here, also away from this point here, to connect to this point here, and then call, or let's say not call, sorry, bind to this event dispatcher. This calling and binding are two different things. Now my goal is to bind to this event dispatcher. All right, let's do this. I say, for example, this lamp here. I go here in the right side and I go to this class, but this one is the class. This is not the instance now. That's a big difference, class and instance, because now because I'm here in the class and make a class binding to the event dispatcher, all the lamps will go off because I'm not selecting an instance. Later I show you how you can select an instance, for example, in the level blueprint, so that you can see it. But right now, let's make it with the class. So here is my class, and my class has a begin play. That's okay. And now, how I make here a binding again? Like I said, you have to still find a connection to this box here. And one way is, for example, again, not the best way, but it is one way, get all actors of class. And I specify what I want. I want this trigger box because this has my dispatcher. BP trigger, activate all, that's exactly this one I want. And because I know this trigger box right now is only one, I can use this get, a copy, and 0 works. But if there would be more than one, careful, then it will and you want exactly this one here, you can use something with a tag, but in my case there is only one. That's why I know it's only this one here. It will work, so I don't need tags here. And then I can make my binding. This one is just accessing to the place where the dispatcher is defined. It is here. Let's call this here comment accessing where the dispatcher is created, or something like that, created. Okay, the dispatcher, okay, it's not dispatcher, let's call it event dispatcher, because there are other dispatchers as well. Event dispatcher. Right. Here we access it. This is just begin play. Start when placed, when pressed play. Start when press play. And if it's in the world, of course, let's say this one, that's okay. Not so important here. I think everybody knows what event begin play is. If not, no worry. Now you know it. And then, and now I still have not make a binding, because I still have to make a binding, right? Compile, save, because how I make now a binding to this dispatcher here. And it's similar to this other call here. Let's see this one again. This here, when I drag out here, you can see I have these options, and now I have the same options here too, because this was this accessing of this trigger box. And now if I call now this dispatcher here, I have exactly the same options like here, but they looks only a little bit different. Let me show you this one. I write here ed, and here a strange thing. Ed is my event dispatcher prefix. But the problem here is it is not recognizing this, and I don't know why. But when I write here demonstration, it is recognizing it. For example, when I write here demonstration, and you can see now it is realizing that. And here I said these options there are the same options here, but they look only different. Here I have now my name of the dispatcher, and then you have here assign, bind, call, unbind, and the same options like I showed you here before. You can see I drag here out. The only difference is the name is here already here, and that's why they show only here the calls on binds and whatever. And here you have only the other options. Yes, I mean the same options. Demonstrate. And the only thing what I don't have here is I think there is one less, but I don't know which one. It's not important. Anyway, we try now to bind to this dispatcher. We can bind, but we have two options for bind. We have here this assign or this bind, and they are similar, or they are almost equal. But let's start with this assign. You can see when you write assign, it is creating this node. This node is very important because this is more or less our listener node. This one is listening and waiting, and this one is just creating an event which we can start. And then here is our custom code. When this is this, when the event dispatcher is called, this one will activate it, and here this one is activating our code. But here one more thing, there was another option, demonstrate. It was called bind, and you see this bind here looks exactly the same because this node is the same actually. The only difference is that this node has a custom event here at the start and this one not. You can write here custom event. At custom event you see this one is now exactly the same, but you can also use here something else and here as well. What you can do here is also you can perhaps use a select node. For example, I go here down and select here a select node, and then of course you should have here options if you use a select node, and the same goes here actually too. You can just disconnect it because this node is the same, and that's why I said this bind and assign is the same node just with a little bit shortcut. And yeah, that's it. And we make here the easy way. We just assign a new custom event, which means I go here, demonstrate, and I use this one here. And here's already the custom event, which you can call, and I call it turn off lights. Something like that. Turn off the lights. And this one here, very important, this code here is this node here is just a waiter, no, not a waiter. Sorry. This node is waiting, not a waiter. It is just waiting till this event here, this dispatcher is called. So with other words, this node will wait till anyone is calling this event dispatcher with this envelope here. Then this one will get automatically activated. Doesn't matter if this one is no more activated. This one is only one time activated. It comes here with the white line. It goes in, and then this node is just waiting. You can think about this one. And after this one, you are writing here in this event your functionality, your code, what you want happen, right? So what was that? What we wanted? We want go in, right? And then I wanted that this light goes off, right? And now I have to say it. Here's my light. Let's see. Here was my light. I went the other way, which means I connected to this one here. And that was this step here. And then after I connected to this one here, I get access to this dispatcher. And when I called this dispatcher, I had this option here, this bind option, and I make the connecting to this dispatcher. Now this one is listening to this dispatcher, and my goal is still to turn off this light, and this here will be activated when the dispatcher is calling. So I have to write my code here, and let's write the code. How I make this again? In this case, it is a class. And we are already in the light. That's nice. I have here the point light direct access, which means I can just drag and drop it down. And I set here set visibility like before. And I can set it here. And yeah, let's make here a comment, or let's make here a comment for this node. This node is special, and set it waits till dispatcher event dispatcher is called. And let's write here one more comment, which is also very important. Doesn't matter, oops, not this way. Waits till event dispatcher is called, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if event begin play already executed. If event begin play already executed. So that sounds a little bit strange, and what I want to point out is you can see we have here this event begin play, right? And when I start my level here, I press play this one here, this event will trigger event begin play, and if this actor is in my scene, they are starting at the same time, more or less. Because I start here, this play here, then this one you can see, now you saw it very shortly, right? Oh, let's see if I can make it one more time, and bang. Here, you can see it is triggering, but now the trigger is stopped, right? After a short amount, you can see it is just triggered, it's finished. But this node here is still waits, which means can still be activated later. And when I go now here with my character in, let's see if I can see this. I'm not sure. Perhaps we can see it, perhaps not. Because I have not installed the debug tools, I don't know if I have to see this. Perhaps we can see it. So let's see if this one gets activated. So I start here the level. You can see here this one here, and now where's my trigger? Here, and you see it is now activated. And I wanted, and this one is very important to understand, that this one is just waiting. That's why I highlighted this one here. And I think that's okay. Let's make here one more step. And yes, this code is just our executed code. Here, let's write here. Here we can write any code what we want. So you can execute anything what you want there, with other words. And that's why it's so powerful, by the way, like all time. So let's see if it's doing that. Here I go in, and you see all the lights go out. And the problem with this one is, because this one is a class, BP light class here, not one instance. So what was the difference about class and instance? Class is this type, which means if you implement it here, it will be activated for all. But if you want only activated for an instance, then you have select first this instance, and then you have activated only for that one. And I want to make this demonstration as well, but not here. I demonstrate this with a level blueprint because I can select it faster, and don't worry, that takes not so long. Because now you know all the a little bit this unbinding and so on. That's not very important right now. Of course, you can read a little bit later more how to unbind and something like that, and destroy and so on. But right now we are concentrating how to bind it and how we can access it from other places. Okay, let's do this one from, let's disconnect this one. I want not use this class here now. I want to use it from my level blueprint. And how I'm doing this from my level blueprint. So first of all, I open up my level blueprint. Here's my open level blueprint. And my goal is still the same. I walk into my, and this time I want not that all lights go off. I want only this one light should go off. And I want to use the level dispatcher. Still, I want to use level dispatcher, event dispatcher. Level dispatcher. Yeah, that would be cool, no? All right, let's go on. How I can make this. So we go to our level dispatcher. Level dispatcher. I say all time level dispatcher. What's happening now? We go to our level blueprint. I want to say my level blueprint. Here's my level blueprint. And now I need again all the connections which I have described you before. I need this here. I need this here, because they should make a communication. The only difference is I need a communication from here to here. And let's see how we make this one with levels. And I said levels is very easy. You can just select that. You can select, for example, both here. You can select this one, shift, select this one. And then you can go here, for example, so. And then you can just drag them here. And now you have both here, both references here. Of course, you could choose, do something like this one as well. Right click. And then, okay, I think I have, when I use the right click method, I have to choose only one, I think. I'm not sure. Right click, and then you can here create this one here. I have not tested this one if there is anywhere, but let's skip this and go on with our task. My task is now yes, the same thing like before. Use the dispatcher, but accessing him from my level now. So what I have to do now, first of all, I have to find a place where I want trigger it. Again, my character is still the trigger, so my character goes in, and then this light should goes out. In my level blueprint, I have already set up this, which means this is the place where my character goes in. Here's the trigger box. This is this one here. Then it goes here. That looks a little bit strange. It's again similar to dispatcher. We have again here this bind node here, and this is just waiting till anyone is going into this box here, and then if this happens, it will trigger an event. And you see this box event here, this trigger box event here, is similar to our event dispatcher. It's similar because this node here is just waiting that anyone is walking in, and this part, this event begin play here, the start pass, is again just only when you press here play. You can see this one is then, oops, you can't see it, but this event, let's see if I can show you this one. So you can see it when I press here now play again. Let's see. No, it's not showing this time. Okay, then we can't see it. But again, this part is only at start. You can see here this hello all time. When you see on the right side this hello, this is all time the start part, and this one is just waiting again that anyone is walking in, and then it is doing something like here. So, but enough talk with that. Let's go here to our event dispatcher. So what I need again? I need again a connection from this lamp here to this place where the event dispatcher is, because I want to make a binding. That's why I need here a connection. And my level blueprint, let's go here. This one I don't need. Here's my level blueprint. Here's the light which I want deselect, turn off the light. In this case, I have exactly the instance here, because this one is not the class. This is exactly an instance of this class. And now I can do what? I can do make, my job is now to make here a connection to this one. So I have to find this one here, and I already found it here. This one is that, right? And how I make this one again? That was the problem. I have now to call, what was it again? Here is the binding I make. Here I call this one. But how I make this one? Let's see. I go here. Let me see what I make wrong. I'm here. I want now connection to this one because I need a binding, which means I have to call it from here. But if I can't call it from here, that's the problem. I have to call it from here. And when I make here this one, let's see. Here is my assignment again, and the problem is here that I have I have used it another way. All right, now I get it. All right, this one is more complicated than I thought, and not really complicated, only the order is different than I thought, because what I showed you here is in level blueprints that I make from here to here a connection, right? And then I showed you what I showed you here. Let me open this one up again so that I not confuse you more than I should already have or something like that. And here's the VV light. So here you can see that was, I get here all actors of class, and then I connected it from this light here to this point here. But the level blueprint works a little bit different. I wanted not show you this one, but whatever, it is here. Let's do it then. So the point is here. You make here, I'm here at this point. Here's my box, and I have already here this this reference for this box. And now I create in this box a binding, and I bind here, for example, an event, right? And now in this event, I turn off the light. So this is another approach actually. Let me do this and show you this. Don't worry if you don't understand this. If you understand this, perfect. But let me show you. So here I turn off light, which means set visibility. Here's the per light again. Of course, I have to get first the light. Here's the visibility. Here's the code. Let's make this one a little bit dark. And so, and here the start position is here, goes in. I trigger this one. Here's my character is overlapping this one, and we can connect this one here for a moment. This one is just another lamp setting from the level blueprint, which we don't need right now. And now you can see the approach is here a little bit different. Sorry for that. It looks a little bit more complicated. It's not really complicated. The difference is, like I said, here we use directly a binding with the trigger box. And here we did the same, but it looks only different. Let me go here to BP Light, open up this one. Here in BP Light, I was started with event begin play. I get all actors of class. With other words, I get this one here. And then I get here this binding. And you can see this one is actually the same. It looks only different. And what's different is here is this trigger box. That would be, let's go here. That would be here, actually. We have here this trigger box. And here we have a call in this place. But here, yeah, this one is the trigger box. And then it goes here, makes a binding. A little bit bad. I'm really bad with explaining this one, but I hope you get this one. It is just creating a binding. So you just make here a binding in level blueprint, and that's all about it. And then you're calling with this light, especially this set visibility. I hope you understand this one here. I explained this very bad, but let's see if it works anyway. So what was our goal? I walk in and only this light goes out, but when you see it, all lights goes out. And the reason for that was because I have connected this BP light. I should not connect this one here. Let's test this again. My level blueprint is set up. This one is now disconnected. And when I start this one here, only this light should go off. I start this one and you see this time it worked. All right, this level blueprint, yes, it's the same, but I hope I confused you not with this one too much. But you can see it's normally the same. It looks only a little bit different because we have here direct access and here we have not direct access. We have just get it and then we assign it. So I think I was more confused than you probably. I think you get it better than me. And if it's so perfect, if not, sorry. And yeah, I think I demonstrated a little bit event dispatchers, but I showed you not one very important part here. And what is this important part? This here makes no sense with just for one. I mean, for one, you don't really need an event dispatcher. That makes only sense when you have more things that you want to activate at the same time. Which means my character goes in and I want not activate one light here. I want make many things at the same time. For example, I go in, I want this light should go out. I want that this cross disappears. How I can make this now to my level blueprint? How I can add this here very fast? Here, I show you. I selected this cross. I go here to my level blueprint, right click it. And then here is my reference, right? And this reference here can now be used here. And I say destroy actor, for example. Destroy actor. And after this one, because this one is anyway activating so this one is calling my event dispatcher. I mean, here I call it. Here I bind it, but calling I call it here, but here I bind it, and actually that's interesting. Actually, I don't need this one here when you watch this carefully, and the reason for that one is because this is a trigger box, but this one is activated by this call here, not by the trigger box. I think I explained to you this wrong. And let me show you this one, what I mean. I can connect now this one here. Before I do it, I connect it just with the event begin play. And this one still works. And the reason for that is this bind is connected to, this is activated with the call and not with this trigger box here. I think I confused all more than I should, but I hope you get it a little bit. If not, no worry. So first, let's see. Let's test this one. If it's working without this trigger box here, it should work because this one reacts only for a call and the call comes from here, which means I walk here over the trigger box, I call it here, and this one is important. And this one is not important. What I have here, this setup was only for this one here probably. So forget this one here. And now it should still work. Let's see. Let's test it. I work over it and you see it is working. This one here is just like I said. That important is that you understand this this node here. This is just a waiting node. This waits till this dispatcher is called. And if you understand that, I think that's the most important part about the dispatcher. And now the second most important part is, if this one is called, you can of course add to this one many different kind of actors like I did here. Now I have here, oops, not this one here, sorry. And I thought so here in this event here. Now I turn off the light, right? Next, I have here a fast reference. I destroyed this actor. Let's test it. What I expect, I walk in, this one is destroyed. And bang, both are happening. Let's go. And there is something error. Attempt to access that. Okay, there is something in error, but this is just because I have destroyed it and I have not. I don't go fix this now. Yeah, I make this later, but probably you have to set up here one more thing and so, but that's not so important now. And then perhaps you should unbind this dispatcher when you destroy something or like this. I don't know, this can happen because, yeah, let's make here is valid. Why not? Yeah. Can I make this? There are many different kind of fixes, but normally is valid. No, why not working? Is valid. Yeah, let's make a valid here. And you are doing this one. And this one is not the best thing, but I think it works here for this function here. I go in. It's not destroying this one here. What? Are you not destroying? Let's see what I did wrong. Is valid, then you should destroy this actor. Input pin. Alright, sure. That was the problem. Of course, it can't be valid when I have not selected anything. That's normal. Okay, now again. Sorry. Let's see. Yes, now it's working. This valid node is working. The problem is if this is not valid, I think it will work. Let's do one more thing. And like I said, you can add now here many things what you want. And you see it's very easy to add something here because from level blueprint, you can just select what you have in your blueprint, add to this one and call one time and it will execute it here. All these things here will be executed. All what you add here with one call. And that's the power of a level dispatcher that you can call one time. I call it here. Where is it? Not here. I call it, where is it? Here on top. I call it one time and I can execute now with one call many things here. Because this this bind node is waiting for my call, more or less. It's waiting for this call here, and now do all that what you have specified there. And you can specify here more. Let's specify here one more thing, and then I think I make a break. I confuse you, everybody. And let's see. I have here a strange particle system in the middle. Let's see if I can select this one here. All right. I don't know if particle works, but let's see it. So I selected this particle. I go to my level blueprint, right click it, and I have now a reference to this particle system. And of course you can do something else. Let's see what I can do with this one. Color. Can I change color? Does set color parameter? I don't know. Perhaps I can. Yes. Let's see. Let's change the color here, and let's set here. Here's a param. Let's make here a red color. All right, and let's see if this is working. This one looks not red, right? Why is this not red? Let's do this one. This one is also not red. This one here. Now it's red anyhow. I don't know why it was not working, but you can see I add here. All the functionalities will be triggered, and let's see if this is also triggering. I go in, and I don't know if this color is not changed, but there is another reason for that one probably. Let me see what the problem here is fast. Perhaps this one here. That's not valid. Let me see this one more time. Oh, that was not the problem. I think there is something else with that was not the right way to set this color probably. Okay, then we make something else. If I can't set the color, I destroy this actor. Destroy actor. I think that works all time. I don't know how to set this color there, but I think this one works. And I probably need again here a valid, but I skipped now. I show you this one. If this is working, and you see now it's destroyed. So, and here is my error normally. No, it's not very good because the other wallet already covered it. All right. Anyway, you can see what I wanted to show you is this one can be executed now. So many comments, and in an easy way you can select, add, and all will be triggered with one call. Okay, now I make a stop. This was, I hope, not too confusing. Don't worry, you can read the official documentation here. Perhaps it helps because my description was too confusing, I think. And yeah, with that said, I stop here this video. If you have any questions or any complaints, write it in the comments. And if you are so confused, write it also in the comments. Then I can try to I will talk anyway again about Event Dispatcher when I compare it to other interfaces or cast nodes and performance and all this kind of stuff. I will talk about this one again, so don't worry, we will repeat this one. But with that said, for now I stop it and see you in the next video, and have fun and good luck.